Hey everybody, how you doing? So this is Nils again at Idaho Pulse, and today I wanted to bring you 5 listing techniques that I as a real estate agent use to attract people to a property. So a lot of people understand that real estate agents like myself, we list the property on the MLS, but that's not good enough. That's not all you have to do as a real estate agent. It's not just set it and forget it. What we often do is we have tips and tricks. Everybody has different ways. I wanted to let you know my 5 top things that I use as marketing techniques for listing a property for somebody who's selling their home. So let's get into that. If you like and subscribe to our channel, we get into topics like this all the time with real estate type stuff. We get into marketing type stuff. We get into the local markets for the Idaho area. So if you speculate on markets or if you're interested in moving somewhere and you're not sure if Idaho is the right place for you, we go into not just the local scene, but we also go into the real estate stuff as well. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you like and subscribe. Otherwise, let's get into the top 5 things that I do to market a property properly and how I do it and the methods that I use to get it done. Okay, so to start off, let's get the easy one out of the way. This is kind of the obvious one, but it can't be skipped over. So listing the property on the MLS. And this is something that's kind of proprietary to real estate agents. So if you've ever tried to sell a home as an owner, as like an owner by owner kind of sale, you'll understand that you aren't able to list on the MLS unless you kind of hire a real estate agent, just list it for a fee, that kind of thing. So a real estate agent does that. But it's not just about uploading pictures and stuff like that and putting the address and the proper description, the square foot and whatnot. It's also about marketing it. When you're using the description, there is a section that not only the customers can see, but there's also a section that real estate agents can see. And so what that does is it allows us to not just communicate to you as somebody who might get a listing from a real estate agent and see a description, but it's also going to allow us to talk to the real estate agent, let them know, hey, this is kind of the situation. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll offer incentives. So if the person selling wants to list the house for a certain price, but especially like in this market where things are kind of slowing down, it's still technically a seller's market right now in Idaho, but it's definitely slower than it's been the last couple of years. So if we're trying to speed things up or if we're trying to get aggressive or try to figure out a marketing technique, trying to attract people to our property, what we'll do is we'll put a kind of a little piece of information in the description like, hey, we're willing to offer, let's say $10,000 in buyer incentives or credits or whatever. And then what we'll do is we'll actually market those incentives. So if I talk to my local loan guy that I use and we have some programs out, what we can do is we can actually say, hey, we're willing to give 10 grand and that'll buy the rate down to this with this incentive offer from this mortgage company or this lender, this credit union, whatever the case may be. And so what you're doing is you're kind of taking money, which money's great, but what do you do with that money? How is that incentivizing the person? Now, the person can use it for whatever they want. They can use it towards closing costs. They can use it toward maybe a little bit of everything. They can buy the rate down a little bit. They can pay off some fees, whatever the case may be, to get them to the point where they're happy. And so we can kind of package it. So that's one thing that I like to do. Not just that, but we make sure that the pictures are accurate. You know, if there's a certain aspect of the house that would benefit from being highlighted, that's definitely something you want to do because the MLS is kind of the bulletin board that your house is sitting on. You want to make sure that it shines the best for the customer. All right, so the second thing is kind of obvious as well, but in this day and age, especially in the last 10 years or so, social media has become a major factor. And so it works for a lot of different businesses, but the reason why it works so well for social media is if you leverage it properly, you have access to amazing amounts of people that are not just in your area, but are all over. And of course, you can target with advertising and stuff like that. So if an agent like myself wants to kind of target a certain specific area or a certain type of people or a certain demographic, whatever it is, we can do that. But the great thing is through the power of social media, we can actually attract people to want to share your content. And so you do that through using trending music or trending ways of shooting or whatever it is. You kind of look and see, hey, what's working for people right now? What are people sharing? I typically will go through, spend some time kind of going through what are people posting? What are the music that people are liking? What's the trending songs, that kind of thing. And that actually helps because people will watch a video longer if they're interested in the music or if it just sounds cool or if the effects are. So not just posting a picture of it and walking away. We actually create an environment where people actually want to view it. They want to see what's going to happen next kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be long. Most people's attention spans on social media is very short. we're talking 15 seconds or less a lot of times. So being able to package all the information into a visually appealing and auditory appealing sound while still being informative and letting them know what the objective is. That's kind of the key. And so that's what I like to do on social media. The third one might surprise you. So the third one is Craigslist. And let me explain on the Craigslist thing. So Craigslist was really big and it's kind of slowed down a little bit. In my previous business that I had for 10 years, which was a motorcycle dealership, I used Craigslist a lot. In the first 5 years of my business being open, that was my most popular advertising method. And of course, in the beginning, it was free and it kind of moved towards some things costing money, but it's still a great platform. There's a lot of people that still really like to use Craigslist. You don't just post the advertisement, kind of like on social media. You're not just posting a listing and walking away from it on. So what I like to do is I like to offer a little tidbit of information. So I'll offer maybe a front shot of the house, an interior, maybe a kitchen shot, because kitchens are extremely popular, or if the bathroom kind of shines in the house, if it's a nice bathroom, I'll post that. I'll pick one thing on the inside of the house that really, really stands out. And then maybe the backyard, if the backyard's nice, or maybe the seating area, if the backyard's not huge or something like that. Something to kind of draw your attention, or maybe just two things, maybe just the front yard. And then what we do is it's like a teaser. So what you do is you're going to post it online. And then people look at that and they think, wow, I kind of want to know. Well, it doesn't say what the listing is on Craigslist. It just shows that. And then there's a link to the landing page that I create for the actual listing. So the landing page will go to my website and it'll have all the information for the thing there. So the point is to get the customer off of Craigslist and get them onto my landing page that I have built specifically for my listing. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep that customer engaged with me and that property, not want to wander off. The less options that somebody has, the more likely that they're going to be interested in your product. And that's how we do it with this strategy. So that's one thing that I like to do with Craigslist, because Craigslist is cheap or free depending on how you list it. And so that's the third thing on my list. Okay, and so the fourth thing kind of ties in a little bit to the Craigslist thing as well. It's kind of a segue into this. So I mentioned the landing page. So the landing page isn't just for Craigslist. The landing page can be used for a lot of things. We can use it for open houses that we're going to run. We can use it for social media stuff. Everything will link to that. So if I do a YouTube video, which is another thing that I like to do, is do a YouTube video on listings. If I do that in the description, and then we'll link that property, which we did a drone flying through it or something like that, or some video shots. And so that allows the customer to kind of, again, go to the landing page. And the landing page is important because, again, it's going to allow them to contact me as your listing agent directly from their interest that they saw wherever it was, whether it was on YouTube that they saw it, or Craigslist, or whether they saw it on social media. It's going to kind of draw them to me and allow them to express interest in the property. And that's another reason that we like to have landing pages, is just to be able to utilize it in a lot of different areas. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to mention, and there's a lot of other things, but I want to keep this to 5 things today: handing out flyers and talking to neighbors. So this is extremely important. So you might say, well, my neighbors already have a house. Why would they want my house? It's not about what your neighbors want. It's about the people that they know. So a lot of people have family, especially here in Idaho where I live. There's a lot of people that want their family to move to Idaho. Maybe they moved here a year or 2 years ago, whatever it was, and they still have a brother or a mother or a father or somebody who's still in another state or somewhere else, and they want them to move in. And wouldn't it be great if they lived in the same neighborhood or somewhere nearby? So what this does is it kind of lets them know, hey, first of all, one of your neighbors is selling their house. This is how much they're listing it for. And everybody's kind of nosy and they're interested in that. So it kind of draws them to say, yeah, I'll take it. And then the second thing is they may know somebody. They may have a friend that's looking for a home. They may have a family member, like I expressed earlier. So this just kind of gets you in front of more people. And the best way to sell your house is through somebody who knows somebody. So it kind of eliminates, again, a lot of the choices and a lot of the options, because it gets overwhelming if you're flipping through properties. So it kind of filters somebody straight to your property. So that's another technique that I personally like to use. So I hope you enjoyed those 5 things that I just brought up to you. Hopefully this gave you some ideas if you're looking to list and you're not in Idaho. And if you are in the Idaho Treasure Valley area, this is a great place to live. If you need help, of course, I'm happy to help, and I can use these techniques plus more to try to help sell your house for you. So hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully it was informative. If you have any questions, you can always contact us through idahopulse.com, or you can text or call us through the phone number. Or you can just leave a comment. If you have any questions, of course, I'm always happy to help with those. So let us know if we can help you out. Otherwise, have a great day and we'll see you on the next video.